Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nite Misfortune back again with some Dungeons and Dragons. This is our homebrew campaign called the Triquetra. And before we get started, a few housekeeping things for you guys. One thing that I wanted to mention, and this goes back to the very first session where I talked about this being a time travel campaign. And as much as possible, I will avoid going back and changing things, but especially when it has to do with things that kind of had an impact on the later story. So, but I feel like I need to correct two things here before we get started. Both of those happen during last session, and they both have to do with the concept of how time travel actually works. And there's a lot of times that outside of the sessions where I'm doing thought exercises about how this stuff works. So sometimes when I'm actually playing, you can't expect me to think through it on the same level. So sometimes there will be similar situations, but hopefully now that we kind of established the way everything works, hopefully it will be a little less. But anyway, there's two things that I wanted to kind of amend, so to say, from last time. And the first one, it has to do with when Riggs showed the party the sword thing, basically demonstrating how the anchor worked. Basically how it was when she teleported the sword up 1 minute and across the room, the sword reappeared back on their end of the room, and it kind of slid back smoothly towards where she actually teleported it. That is actually not correct. So how it should have been described is actually the same thing, but it kind of blinked there on the way there. So like it would like blink forward, blink forward, blink back, and like kind of a little more chaotic on the way to the destination where she actually teleported it. And it would like phase in and out type thing. So that's
Might we infer are we to infer from that there's like that is reflective of like the variance and probability and all that stuff that like causes these time skips to happen, or is that just like, or I guess would we have been able to ask her about that in the moment?
I will say no, you didn't, because you haven't really asked many other questions about how time travel works. But you probably hopefully will have opportunities to ask again if you like. But yeah, it doesn't have too much impact on your decisions, I don't think, and the story so far. And the second one is an even minor correction. It has to do when you drank with the potion. Riggs said that you are now one with time. That was incorrect. She should have said you are now outside the flow of time.
Ooh.
So yeah, those are the two corrections that I wanted to make before we get started. Hopefully you guys don't mind, but there will probably be a few more during the time that we played. One person you don't see here right now, Sui, who's playing Delmar, is going to be joining us a little late, but it will actually surprisingly work with the story, hopefully. So that's fine. But let's go ahead and introduce the players. Let's just go ahead, like we talked about, going down to Discord and reintroducing our characters. Starting with Chris.
Well, hello guys, my name is Chris. I will be playing Barrick Ackerman. I am a guest playing an NPC at the current time. We shall see how far the party gets with me on their tails.
All right. Or even if they reunite with you, we'll see. All right, Cooper is next.
Hello, I'm Cooper. I am playing Raida. She is a Leonin or Shen samurai.
All right, cool. Jake.
What's up, guys? I'm Jake. I'm playing Silky, a goblin wizard, and he's awesome.
And Miles.
My name is Miles. I am playing a Dragonborn Vengeance Paladin named Pot, and he too is awesome.
And last but not least, it is George.
I'm George, also known as Spiff, and I'm playing Ivarin, an elven wizard who rolls his eyes a lot.
Nice. And I am Dimitri. I'm Knight of Misfortune, and I will be your dungeon master for this campaign. And with all that being said, we dive into the game with previously on the Triquetra. After retrieving a sword from the leader of the Forsaken, our group was recruited by a secretive organization called the Triquetra. They learned that the plague that killed most of the population in the world of Maros, which started in 2602, began with the release of a demonic entity by an individual called Termo Valen, a descendant of a powerful family ruling over the kingdom of Valen and the Purple Vanguard. Riggs and Hugo, the leaders of the Triquetra, also shared that they have been working on a way to prevent the plague, time travel, and that a mysterious individual handed them a note from 2596 with all 5 of their names specifically referenced. The letter was written by a man named Beric Ackman, who died many years ago. The group agreed to travel back in time to seek out Beric and Termo. Teleporting back, they found themselves in a bit of shock of bustling cities and the abundance of chatter in the streets of Roshan. Combating the side effects of time travel, the party learned that Beric owned a cabin on the outskirts of time. They found the cabin laced with traps, and its owner proved far less welcoming and trusting than they expected. After nearly killing themselves when attempting to change time, they finally convinced Beric in their quest to find Termo and agreed to meet in solitude. This brings us to the year of 2596, as the players just got sucked into the time stream on their way to their destination of solitude. All right. So we pick up there as you guys are journeying through the familiar, well, I guess it's still kind of new to you, but the familiar sensation of going through time travel as you feel yourself being pulled back and forth, and you notice these flashing white lights, almost like you're going through a tunnel, kind of like maybe like what is it called? Faster than light travel in Star Wars, but without the blue light, so it's just like white. And let's go ahead and 4 of our players, I guess, make a... Actually, no, I already did this roll. So, Raida, as you're going through this tunnel, you... at first you don't notice anything, but eventually you kind of almost feel like there are some kind of forms and silhouettes in these lights that are passing through you, almost like ghosts kind of like floating around you. And you actually see a reflection of your parents for a brief moment.
Oh.
And then you quickly snap out of it, and you find yourself, at first you have no idea where you are, but then you realize that you're actually in water. And you're...
Deep water?
You don't know at first how far below surface level you are, but you look up and you're able to climb up, and you find yourself just off the shoreline, but the shoreline is a very, very tall cliff, and the cliff is maybe like, I want to say like 100 yards maybe, so like a football field tall, so pretty tall. And on the other side, you look around and you see a little island with a bunch of rocks, on top of which you see a lighthouse.
Is the island closer to?
Yeah, I would say it's closer, and also you can probably get on it, whereas the cliffs, it's just a sudden drop. Yes.
I would probably try to swim to the island.
All right. Yeah, you managed to reach the island and pull yourself up. And we're going to jump back to the other 3. So, Pot, Ivarin, and Silky, you find yourself in the tunnel of light, and then suddenly you appear on a fairly grassy hill. It appears to be a cliffside. And Silky and Ivarin, you guys see. Actually, no, sorry. Ivarin and Putt, you guys see each other standing next to each other. And you look around, and suddenly you hear Silky screaming. And you turn around, and you see him sticking out of a nearby tree with a fairly large trunk, but half of his body,
shit.
like below torso, is actually just wedged into the tree. And
no.
Silky, you're going to take.
Oh no.
And Jake already dying.
You're going to take 7 bludgeoning damage as you feel this tree just kind of pop around you and like hold you very snugly.
Okay. I don't think I actually had long rested or like rested at all before this.
I don't think
so
any of you did. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm actually
Oh,
unconscious from that.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, that's right, because he went down and he was up with like 1 life.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he pops out. He screams, and then like his body goes limp, and he's like half of his body is still in the tree, so like his body just keels over on the trunk of the tree.
Yeah, it's not great.
Is the tree like how close to the body? Is it like literally like it's a perfect shape, like where the tree has perfectly morphed to his body, or is it?
No. It's like he probably warped the tree around him. Like you don't know what happened, but the tree is like very snugly around him.
Okay, so we could theoretically like remove part of the tree to get him out. Like that wouldn't be an impossible feat. Just trying to think about what it looks like from our perspective.
If you run over, it's not too terribly far, but you run over and you kind of inspect it a little closer. Silky is definitely unconscious. The tree itself, you smell a little bit of a burning smell coming, and upon closer examination, you see that around where it's actually holding Silky, it's like a little crisp and burnt.
Okay.
But apart from that,
shit.
you don't see anything. So you would think that you would, especially because half of his body is stuck in it, you'd probably have to chop the tree to get him out.
Okay. Well, I have a warhammer.
And also, by the way, this tree is right on the cliff edge, and over the cliff edge, you see a lighthouse standing on a little island below.
And a wet cat.
No, you don't see a cat.
Oh no, is this some fucking timey-wimey
Oh no.
shit?
Why I have
We've
to
been
fly
timing.
economy? The fuck?
I mean, I'm in a tree and dying.
That's true.
Yeah, you got the business.
Actually dying.
We're gonna actually jump back to Arida. You find yourself on the island next to a lighthouse.
Cool. I would probably try to shake off some of the water and look around for my companions, which I'm assuming I don't see anywhere.
You don't see anybody.
Well, we didn't really prep for this. I guess I would make my way towards the or I would probably, wherever I came ashore, I would probably put a little stack of rocks or like a tree branch just to mark my place.
It's a small island. It literally
then-
just has a pile of rocks and a lighthouse on it.
I would make my way to the lighthouse then.
Okay. The lighthouse, you see some light coming from the top, and you don't hear anything, but the door is closed.
I'll try the door handle or knock on the door. See if it's unlocked.
It is unlocked. Do you push it open?
Sure.
Okay. As you push the door open, you feel warmth coming from inside and more light, and you feel like somebody definitely is in there.
I would call out, like, hello, is anybody here that has a towel, maybe?
You hear silverware drop above you, and a high-pitched voice. Hello? Who is it?
I'm just a traveler that I washed up on your shore.
Feed down the ladder, coming down, and you see a female elf coming down the staircase from above. Well, hello, traveler. How did you end up here?
Hello. I don't know. I lost consciousness and then woke up in the water and came to your island. I'm not exactly sure how I got here.
Are you one of those
Or
delinquents,
where
Shen?
here is.
Who likes to
Definitely
party?
not.
Oh, okay.
Well, I like to party sometimes.
Oh, well, okay.
Unless that's bad, then I
well,
don't do that ever.
Yeah, come on up. I have a towel up there. And as she leads you up, we're gonna jump back to Ivarin and Pot.
Well,
Okay. So, does anyone have anything that could realistically cut through a tree? Because I don't have an axe or anything.
no, it's just you and I, and I've only got a war hammer, so I could try smacking the tree, I guess, and maybe it'd splinter or something if it's like thin enough. What Knight? What direction is the tree leaning more towards? Like, so it's on a cliff's edge.
Mhm.
Does that mean I presume it's leaning more towards the weight of the tree? If we were to chop it on one side, it would fall towards off the cliff.
Sure. Yeah, that's good.
Yep. I mean,
How
I
long
could
of a
try.
drop is it?
It's about a football field length cliff.
Shit.
Correct.
Okay.
Do we have any rope left? I never added that to my.
Or do you guys
inventory
have
properly.
do you guys have like pittons? Like things you could wedge the tree open with?
Hold on a second. We've got rope, right?
I
Yeah.
don't know. I guess I don't think I've used my rope. If we've presumed that we all had rope, I just never added it to my items list before we started.
No, I don't have rope either. Okay, this is bad.
Probably should have set my character up a little better.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and give one of my healing potions.
Guys, you're supposed to have like an adventuring pack, no? An adventuring pack has rope in it.
Mine doesn't, apparently.
Unless you just took like the gold or something and then didn't buy anything with it.
I would actually assume that all of you being travelers in the post-apocalyptic world have an adventuring pack. That would include the basic items of an adventuring pack, which is rope, for sure. So I'm gonna say you guys have rope.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
I can touch this man in a way that might be advantageous for him. And I'll
Sounds
wiggle
sturdy.
my eyebrows a little bit, yeah. I see you pull out the healing potion, and I'm like, whoa. Let's use something a little bit more reusable here. And I just cast Cure Wounds on Jake's character. Wait, where are we?
And
I hope that comes
DM,
up.
how tightly pinned inside this tree am I?
You definitely feel it kind of tight. You took bludgeoning damage from it.
Sure. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like,
you're
I am just really
unconscious.
stuck. Well, I'm not now, I think.
They actually,
just
I don't
done
think they've
7.
healed you. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
I
back
can't,
to
yeah.
1.
I was at -1, so I think I'm at.
You feel it like you feel it like you're actually the one that expanded it. Like you feel yourself pushing on it for sure. You're like
Okay.
wedged in it. Pretty good.
Oh, my eyes open. Just like, oh my god, man, that portal really hurts. And I look around. Am I in a tree?
You are a good friend. You have made
Why
friends
aren't
with a
you
tree.
guys in trees?
All right. Well, I'm going to take my rope and tie it around Silky's. His waist is out of the tree still, right? He's like buried from the hips down, basically, right?
As you do this, I'm like, please, no. This feels really tight. I don't know what you're planning, but this seems like this will be very painful for me.
Just don't look down. This is so that you don't fall, okay?
I immediately look down. Huh?
I said, don't look down.
So,
my
so
God.
what if
What's the plan here? Are you just gonna yank me out?
we could try? I mean,
Well, look,
You'll tear me in half!
I want you to fall.
The other option is if we tie a rope around him, and then I can try and very carefully bash like the weaker side of the tree. Like I'm assuming it's like basically Jake's character's like wedged in the middle of this tree. There's like an opening that has been seared open, and then either side is like quite thin because he obviously takes up a good portion of that volume of that tree, the thickness of the tree. Is that correct?
I'm not quite sure what you're saying.
So if you have, so how is he wedged in this tree? Is he like wedged sideways in this tree, or
Like imagine a whole tree. It's just completely no holes, no nothing. It's just a tree trunk, and suddenly something is placed where the tree is, but the tree can't go anywhere. So it burns just enough for to allow him to go in it, but then it's around him pretty tightly, and so that part of that it's around him pretty tightly is below the waist, so his legs go into it.
Okay, so the tree is like sticking out more horizontal then, and his legs are in it that way. Is that what you mean? Or is he horizontal? Like I'm trying to think.
He would be horizontal coming out of the tree, and then he's facing downwards, so his body kind of just like he's like limp down towards the bottom of the
Angling.
trunk. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I had. So either side of his hips would be quite thin, like from the hole to the edge of the tree would be thinner, right? Because he's like wedged in there.
No,
Yeah?
it's just it's tight to his body all the way around him. Like it's a perfect hole in his shape.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look down at the rope around me, and I'm just gonna say, well, I appreciate the effort. I think I can get myself out. And I will just Misty Step out of the tree.
Nice. Yeah, so you reappear next to the tree standing, and you still see the hole there. It's a perfectly shaped bottom of Silky in the tree. And jumping back to...
Wait, I have a
Raina.
question.
Yes.
So he got stuck in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a chunk of the tree that was like displaced by him?
Yeah,
that
no,
was, like...
I'm picking exactly what you're thinking, Cooper.
They don't
Yeah.
see it.
Could you describe the tree, the area inside the tree that I was in was like perfectly me-shaped,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
as if it had grown around me.
Yeah, I'm getting like Terminator vibes, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
when
I'm
he
glad people are picking up on this.
and the fence is like burned out around him, but
Yes.
except much closer to his body.
Yes, absolutely right.
But
And
there's
you
no,
don't
like-
they don't see any extra tree anywhere.
Okay, got it.
Always think of things in terms of 80s movies.
Yes. No, I'm making note of this because I'm trying to figure out ways we can abuse this later on.
Oh, great.
'Cause I think the mechanics of this are going to be important.
All right, Raida, you were led up by this elf to the top of the lighthouse, and it looks like there is just like a landing right below the part where the spinning light is, and but where you are, you can it's still like surrounded by windows, so you see a bedroom, a little kitchen off to the side, and a pretty large telescope pointed not upwards toward the sky, but it looks like it's pointing horizontally outwards into the sea. And
Out towards the
elf-
open ocean?
Yes, and the elf kind of rummages in one of the closets and brings out a towel and wraps it around you. Maybe a little small. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Anything is much appreciated. Thank you very much.
So, how did you get here again? Do you want some tea, by the way? I just made some tea. And
Sure,
she
I would
grabs
love
up
some
a cup
tea.
and begins pouring and hands it over to you.
Thank you. I was traveling with some companions, and I must have fell off the cliff or something.
Oh goodness.
I just know I came to in the water and swam over here. Do you know where this is exactly?
Well, it's a miracle you survived off the cliff. Is the bottom of the cliff is very rocky. You didn't hit a rock. That's a miracle right there. I mean, you're still here. You're next to right off of Solitude.
Great. And what was your name again?
My name is Sala.
Sala. Thank you for your hospitality. I really appreciate it. You haven't seen anybody else.
It gets kind of lonely around here, so it's nice seeing other people.
I imagine. Are you the only one that works here in this lighthouse?
Yes. We cycle around, but it's been a while since I've been off here for a long period of time.
Well, it was really nice to meet you. How would one go about getting back to the mainland? Is there a boat or something?
I do have a rowboat. I could take you tomorrow morning. Or tonight.
I don't want to inconvenience you, but I really should reconnect with my traveling companions. I don't want them to worry about me. But
well, you look like you're in a hurry.
You have
I can row you ashore tonight.
Thank you. I thank you very much. If there's anything I can do for you as payment.
Oh, no worries, no worries. I can use any extra excuse to go ashore.
Then yeah, this evening would be great.
All right, well, let's finish our tea and then we can get going.
Yes, I will gladly drink the tea and dry myself off.
And back to the three others.
All right, well, we're all pretty beat up, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like, maybe a good idea to take a short rest before we do anything else?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. Normally I'd fight you on this, buddy, but I don't know where. Like, looking around, like, do we see the city of Solitude?
You're on the cliffside, so you're probably overlooking a little bit down. And yeah, you do see a pretty large city, maybe 5 to 10 miles away.
We don't know it's Solitude because we've never been there, but we could reasonably assume. Okay. Yes, I 100% agree. Before I have no idea. Also, holy shit, where's Rita? Rita.
That's
I'm
a
just
good question.
calling around looking for her.
No response.
Hot takes a look off the cliff to see if she's down the cliff face or something.
You don't see anything other than the lighthouse, which has a spinning light on top of it.
Is there a path down? Or no, you said the lighthouse is on an island, and we're not on the island, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is there? I mean, there's got to be like a dock with a ferry or something, right? Or a boat just sitting there?
Not where you are. Again, you're like on a very steep cliffside.
But we can't see one like down on the water anywhere?
No.
I worry, guys. Like, if I could end up in a tree, like, what if she's, buried or something? Like, do we have a way to find her?
Let me check my.
Because I can't do it.
By the way, Delmar is missing too.
Oh Christ.
I don't have.
Yeah, let me check my skill.
Any spells that would help
nor
here. You don't have message?
Right. I don't. No, I don't.
What good are you?
Some utility caster I turned out to be. Well, so I guess
you didn't see this
in terms of triage stuff, I don't know if they're safe or not. So I think we need to find a way to find them quickly, which I think means getting into the city and finding either a scroll or some way to locate them. Because we could search around this area all we want, but realistically, there's no way to know, like, if they're buried, 100 feet below us, or if they're a mile away, or if they're 10 miles away. I think that this teleport, this transport, this jump, seems to be fairly chaotic by nature.
If we do we get our skills reset on a short rest, or is it just HP? It's a long rest that you need to get your spells and stuff reset. Spells.
No, it depends on your class.
Yeah,
spells
So
don't
wizards
reset.
can use once daily arcane recovery to recover up to half their level worth of slots
Ooh.
back.
Mhm.
That is a good one. I might be able to do something here.
Okay.
Possibly. I could do this guy. Sorry, wall of text. But oh, it doesn't reset it. You can extend to fuel your spells as a bonus action. You touch your holy symbol, use a blah 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 blah. Regain when expended, so it's regain. I can't like add because like the paladin, like each day you can choose like which spell that you want to use. And
Well, I'm definitely going to go ahead and take my hit dice while we're discussing what to do next.
yeah, I haven't done that either.
All right. Well, we're gonna jump back to Rita.
Mhm.
So, you
Now,
finished
how's that
your
work?
tea.
Was it delicious?
It was pretty nice and warm. Importantly, it was fairly chilly water.
I would probably, if we have time to kill, I would probably just ask this elf about herself a bit. I'm new to this area. Do you know much about Solitude?
Oh yes, a very bustling city, high in magic. Very nice mix of population coming from all around the world, with a university there, of course.
Right, of course. Yeah. Are you from this area or?
Oh
What?
yeah, just a town a little west of Solitude.
Oh, that's very cool. How did you end up here?
Well, never was very much of an adept of magic, and just always liked to. We lived in a little sea village. Always liked the water. Just figured, why not? My family actually bought this lighthouse when I was a kid, and now I have it.
Oh, that's cool. Family business.
What do you do?
I kind of do odd jobs, wherever I kind of.
Cliff jumping? Yeah.
Yeah, um, yeah, I travel quite a bit, so I kind of just pick up anything that I can find wherever I'm sort of at locally in the moment. But I do a lot of sort of adventuring type things.
I see. So you've traveled around a bit. Have you been to any cool places?
I have no idea how to answer this. Because most of my traveling was probably done post-apocalypse. Yeah, I mean, where did we just come from?
Roshan.
Roshan. I will say, Roshan's really an interesting city. Lots going on there. Very exciting.
How are people there? Friendly?
They're very friendly. Very, very friendly.
I see. Yeah. I'd love to travel.
You should take a trip sometime. Take a vacation.
Maybe once I get out of the lighthouse.
Yeah, I mean, I think traveling is good for the soul. And it seems like you're getting a bit cooped up here.
Yeah. Well, sometimes something exciting happens, like you come around. Not
Anything else exciting happen recently?
No. Not much comes around, honestly. Just ships. Yeah.
Is there like a large port here around here?
Yeah, Solitude is the biggest one. A lot of merchant vessels from the northwest come around here, but Other than that, it's pretty much the end of the line. There's not much anything to the west of here.
I see. Well, usually I think of lighthouses being in highly trafficked areas, so I was wondering
Well,
if you
yeah,
get a lot of.
it's to mark the entrance to the
I see.
to
I
the little
see.
bay area just to the west of here. And
Are you sure there's nothing I can do for you? I feel bad. All of your
Oh,
hospitality.
no, absolutely fine. We can get going if you like.
Sure.
Get you back to your friends.
That would be great. Thank you.
All right.
I am in a bit of a rush. Not that I don't enjoy your company.
All right. Well, she leads you back down and onto this little rowboat and starts rowing off to kind of to the right of the cliff from where you're facing, and the cliff starts to kind of narrow fairly quickly. Like you thought this cliff would go on for longer, but it kind of drops to where it's a little more accessible, and eventually you come up to a dock area.
Yeah, if we're arriving at the dock, I would I guess gather my things. Not that I have a whole lot. Thank you so much. You have been extremely helpful. I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't found somebody on that island to help me out, so I'm very grateful.
Oh, no worries. Come by and say hi sometime.
Definitely, I will. I'll come visit if I am ever in the area again.
And,
Are you sure I can't? I try to give her like a gold piece.
Okay.
Sure, I can't.
She says, "Oh, no, it's quite fine, darling."
Thank you. I'll have to repay the favor some way.
Ah, you're too kind. And she pushes off and starts rowing away.
Well, I would I guess walk up the dock and are there any like signs anywhere that might?
So
I'm assuming
you're
this is pretty
fairly
close to Solitude.
Yeah, you're pretty close to Solitude, if not even in Solitude. And by the time you arrive at the dock, it's nighttime, and it actually starts raining.
Great. I just got dry.
Bullshit.
I'm gonna smell awful. Wet cat smell. I think I will. I guess I'll just try to find an inn anywhere that I can spend the night, and then, if it's raining.
So I
Yeah.
think you guys agreed to meet in Purple.
Oh,
Pony?
right. Purple Pony. Yeah, I will see if I can find somebody to point me in the direction of the Purple Pony.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty late, and people are not like terribly surprised because you actually see like maybe a Shen off in the distance walking through the streets. But yeah, so you ask around, and they point you in the direction of the Purple Pony, and it's kind of this whole city is kind of pretty nice, and definitely nicer than Roshan, and like nice stonework, cleanly cut everywhere, type of thing. But this the Purple Pony actually appears to be in even a little nicer kind of area. And as you approach it, you see a nice purple sign letting you know that you're probably in the right place. And as you open the door, you hear the chattering from a lot of different people. And you look around, and you actually spot Barrick sitting off in the corner, and he is looking directly at you also.
I'll walk directly over to him.
7 days.
Has it been 7 days? I have no way.
7 days late.
Late? I'm really sorry about that.
When you give someone a time frame to meet you somewhere, you at most arrive a day late. And that's only if the circumstances allowed it to be so. What happened? Actually, Before you answer, I might have some bad news.
Okay.
Your friend, the metal creature,
Uh-huh. Delmar?
yes, he's in the room. I think he's dead.
Oh no. Why do you say that? When did he arrive?
Not too long ago, I wasn't the one who found him. A fisherman from the docks found him, fished him out of the waters. I had to haggle with him and pay for his rusted corpse.
I'm so sorry about that. I think there are some issues with our traveling methods. Because I also seem to have been separated from the rest of my companions. I don't know if we were all sort of strewn around randomly. None of the others have shown up yet, I take it?
Oh, they're not with you.
No, unfortunately.
Get yourself dry. Are you hungry?
I assume I'm starving. I'm very hungry.
Yes,
Yes?
definitely.
I probably didn't eat anything at the lighthouse.
No.
Fine. Get yourself dry. You will eat. Then we will discuss what happened to make you so late.
Sure. I'll go change or dry off and then come back. How much did you have to pay for Delmar?
75 gold.
75? I will give him 75 gold.
Much obliged. I will pocket that.
I'm so sorry. This is all very new for us as well. So, and we're not really in control of the time skipping ourselves.
Trust me, I know how it feels to have a power you can't control. However, you must learn how to harness it, how to control it, or at the very least, how to minimize any potential issues such as this for next time. Make sure you and your teammates speak of this and make sure it works.
Yeah, we will try.
You will
I mean, we
have
didn't get
to.
any training.
Well, trust me. Yet again, I know how that feels. You'll have to learn the hard way and learn it quick.
Yeah.
Now come, get some food in you. I've gathered some information. Let's wait and see if your allies will come soon enough.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully they aren't far behind me.
All right, allies. Shift to you.
Or far ahead of you.
Feature.
So I assume we have at least some sense of like where we are relative to the city,
Yeah.
or do we not? Okay. Well, then you guys want to head off towards the meeting, the rendezvous. There we go.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I would also personally like to find like a scroll of can we do no crap like a divination type scroll to just basically query if our friends are like alive or not.
Mm.
I'm nervous that if I was in a tree that like we were just standing over top of Rita.
Well, wait a minute. This is a magical town, right? I mean, it's full of wizards.
I think so. I imagine someone could. I think what I would like to do is first find a way to confirm that our friends aren't dead, and then go to the meeting point. Like if they're in danger, I want to know about it now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking like maybe we can find a shop where we can just like, get a scroll of message and send a message.
I think that's exactly the kind of low brush I'm looking for.
What
Alright.
if we're going into the town? Why don't we split up? One person waits at the waiting point, and or two people wait at the waiting point. The other person goes and gets a scroll, just in case, you know.
By the waiting point, do you mean
The
purple
wrinkly
pony?
leg purple pony. Yep.
But aren't we saying that we're going to send the message before we go to the purple pony to make sure that they're alive?
Yeah, but if we split up and one person waits at the purple pony, I presume that's where we'll all meet up anyway. But just in case,
Right, but think about this logically. This is Ivarin talking, by the way, not me. I wouldn't be this patronizing. Think about this logically. If we're worried about walking into a trap, then why would we send one of us into the trap?
Yeah, I'm actually, again, as shocking as this is with Avarin, like, I think let's confirm our friends aren't in danger, and let's go over together. Like, I don't know the city. I assume you two don't know the city. I think splitting up for any appreciable amount of time would probably be a bad idea. It also occurs to me that if this jump wasn't accurate enough not to put us all like in solid objects, we have no idea of knowing if we're at the right time or not. Like Riggs's description of this jump was incredibly vague. So we're assuming we're a month ahead of time, but we could be, who knows, years behind or ahead, and we just don't know what we're walking into. So
Let's find out when we are and whether our friends are around before we do anything drastic.
Yeah, it occurred to me, we yelled at Barrick to meet us in a month's time, but did we have any idea if it would actually be a month?
because Pot's intelligence is 11, he's going to just stare at you two.
I think, yeah, the two of us are just kind of like figuring out. I think the two of us are realizing in this moment that like we truly like may have wildly overextended ourselves, because like we don't know how this fucking thing works at all. And the fact that because again, like I think Silky is realizing the fact that like had you two not been here, I would have bled out in that tree, like I would have just been dead. So I'm pretty nervous that something else catastrophic could have happened to our other cat companions.
Yeah, they told us this was safe. Damn it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think. Well, Ivarin's going to say. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to agree with the goblin on this one. We stay together. First thing we need to do, though, is see if we can find that message scroll.
Yep, agreed.
How long is is that a character? How long is a short rest?
An hour.
An hour. Were we still planning on doing that, or were you skipping that?
In my games, remember, I do 15 to 30 minutes.
Oh, excellent.
That was
So
basically us just sitting around catching our breath.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's how I
Like-
always pictured it, is like you just taking a moment to gather yourselves.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like talk about what we're gonna do next, and like it you don't have to like just be sitting there, you know, like it's
Yeah. So with the short rest, sorry, just to confirm, we get our HP back with a short rest.
Whatever you
No.
roll out of your hit dice.
Short rest is only hit dice. You can spend hit dice.
Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, then I've messed up, because I don't think I added hit points when I leveled up to level 4.
No, I think
I
you
can't
did,
remember.
because I changed on the overlay. I think I changed your health points.
To 28 is what I've got.
Sounds
Yeah.
that sounds right.
Sounds right.
Sounds about
Okay.
right, yeah.
Okay. So I've wasted. Oh no, I just get that with the short rest. Okay. So I get, because I haven't done this whole short rest hit dice stuff before. So I get all of those hit dice combined together. That's how much I can add to my.
So whenever you take a short rest, you can choose to spend any amount of hit dice up to your level number of hit dice. So
Okay.
that's what you rolled for. That's when you took the short rest earlier. And then during long rest, you regain half of the ones you lost. So you spent 4
God.
hit dice. So during the long rest, you're going to regain 4 of those hit dice. Or sorry,
two of those.
two of those hit dice. Gosh.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But long rest does also give you all your hit points back.
Right,
Back, yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just like yikes to this one. That's okay.
That's why you should have a hit die like tracker on your sheet. I think it's like a resource.
Yeah, I've got it here.
Yeah. All right, so you guys begin heading off into town, and you arrive on the outskirts of town, or outskirts of the town, just before midday. You figure, because the sun is high up, and
So yeah, first thing we're looking for then is like a shop that would be
Yeah.
able to sell us that scroll.
I'm thinking just mechanistically, message has a pretty narrow range. Would it be more effective to find someone who can cast divination for us?
Um,
Because our question is are Delmar and Rita, like, are they dying?
well, let's see.
Right? Because if they're not,
Divination, fourth
we're
level
fine. If they're
spell.
already dead, then we're fine. The problem is I can't cast divination.
I have divination spells that I use, but I don't know how this all works. Like the scroll
Yeah.
and stuff, the paladin. Let me Google real quick.
Because with message, I think you'd be able to see someone, right?
no. From what I remember, message works.
Within range.
You have to know their like general location, and you send a message
Yeah.
to them, and they can respond in like one sentence or something. I don't remember exactly, but I
Yeah,
think you
it's-
do.
We
one of
can
the
cast
requirements-
it through.
Through me, it looks like.
Yeah, it sounds like you can cast messages through solid objects if you know the target's there. So it's
Right.
not really meant to find somebody.
Right. That's what.
There's-
So I think
there's
we would
divination
need to
spells for that.
find a spell like, yeah, we would need to find a spell like augury, which we could cast, or like divination, which is a higher level that I think any of us
Locate
can
person.
cast.
Animal messenger.
Oh, would that work?
I think you also need to know the location. I mean, it's
No,
like an
you
owl
have to.
in Harry
No,
Potter.
yeah, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. You have to have been to the location before where
Yeah.
you're sending the messenger. I feel like there's.
I mean, there's locate
It's another
object, which was
spell.
within 1,000 feet, and then we could just locate something that like Rito was wearing and Delmar were wearing.
Mm.
Well, Delmar's an object. We can locate him.
Kind of, yeah. I'm just thinking, like, I think there are ways to do this probably more effective. And the problem is, like, if we're going to be finding them in town, I don't know. Would we be able to look around and see? Are there temples in town?
You probably don't see any from just walking into the town, but you definitely
Okay.
notice that there's a lot of like magic shops and like potion shops, and it seems to be a very magically imbued town.
Would we be able to look around and find if there are people who are like, are there magicians for hire, like individuals who could cast stuff for us?
You figure like if there is this amount, and also like from what you know about the city in general, with like the academy being there, also Ivarn, like this is where the Amber Academy was. So you figure there probably is a lot of mages here.
Should we go to the Amber Academy then? Because realistically, what we're looking for is like somebody to
go
cast.
to the Amber Academy.
Should or
Because
should?
remember, the other me is at the Amber Academy.
Oh, then definitely
so
not.
I
that.
personally should not go to the Amber Academy.
Well, let's not split up. So let's see if we can find someone who's able to cast. I think divination makes the most sense.
Yeah, I'm just
Like it's not
trying to think
very
of-
expensive. Like I think we could have it cast twice and basically ask like if they're okay.
I'm just looking through like other spells
Yeah.
to see.
Did we actually look around the city? Like, have we walked around the city at this point?
You're just
Or are
walking
we
in
still
the outskirts.
brains-
Yeah.
So we're not in the city, because I'd like to buy a two-handed weapon at some point.
Well, I mean, you're walking into. You just haven't like gone around most of it yet. Like you're just entering
Yeah.
it, but you already see shops and whatnot, magical shops.
Okay. If is there any chance that I would see like a weaponsmith or something like that would sell?
You
weapons?
actually don't see weaponsmiths, so there is an abundance of the magic stuff, but it doesn't seem like there's too many actual like physical weapon type and armor shops.
Okay.
Can we? I guess. Well, can we just say we're looking for a consignment magic shop and a armorer? Then, like we can look for Pot's weapon, and we can look for someone who can cast a spell for us.
You definitely come across a magic shop first, and
Cool.
You kind of think this one's kind of a little bigger and more extravagant, so I guess you decide to check it out.
Oh yeah, what's it called? That's totally my speed. Gotcha, bitch.
It's called the Lavender Emporium.
Ooh. I would like to enter into the Lavender Emporium for sure.
All right. Well, it's like I said, it's a pretty big place, and it looks even bigger on the inside. And it's one of those shops when you enter, there's like a staircase that leads to a higher level, but it's like on the edges of the shop. So like there's almost like a balcony walkway around the shop, and there's like 4 levels of like various items. You see there's a large stock of potions, there's like minor magical items, a little bit of weapons on the first level, and there's like spices on the second level, and like you just look up and it just stretches up and up. There's some books, various objects. The only thing that's probably missing is like armor stuff, and weapons are a little on the lower end. But yeah, there's just a lot of trinkets and things in here.
Okay. Well, first things first. I'll walk up to the front counter, and like lean up against it, and kind of do a little finger gun over the front.
Don't lean on that.
Hello to you.
Don't lean on
I'm
that.
sorry. I'm a leaner. Anyway. The counter?
Yes, the counter.
Oh. Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm sorry for leaning on your counter, but if it's not too much trouble, I and my friends are looking for the services of a mage. We've misplaced one of our gewgaws and need some help finding it.
Okay.
Is that something that your shop would be able to assist with?
What is the said gewgaws?
It is insofar as a gewgaw is a person, specifically 2 people.
Ah, well, that's a bit trickier, but we could probably figure something out. What's your budget?
Are there not prices posted for your services?
Not for spells, especially when you gotta tailor it to your specific need.
Right, I will look right at him. Can I make some kind of check to see if is this guy trying to gouge me? Because realistically, my budget is my entire. Is like if it'll make sure my friends are okay. I'll spend all my money, but I'm just gonna make sure this guy's not trying to fuck me over here.
Yeah, you can do an insight check.
Oh boy. It's a 4.
Yeah, you don't quite know.
Okay. I'll look at him. I'll raise an eyebrow and I'll say 300 gold.
300 gold. For a
I
spell
definitely
like this?
want.
Well, I suppose if you can make it 350, we can make it work.
And what would I get for that 350? Just so I'm aware.
It is called locate, or the spell would be called the locate creature.
Oh.
And
man,
if
that's...
your friends are within 1,000 feet of you, well, no.
And that would be for both of them?
It's one of them. So if you want to, it'll be 700. But for you, if you want to, I'll do it for 650.
All right, and then
If Aaron's going to jump in here, if I may, locate creature is a very advanced spell. We might be able to do with something a little more modest, perhaps ascending.
ooh, sending.
Well,
Oh, that's so much better, Varin. I turned to Varin. I'm like, and I say out loud. That is a much better idea.
I knew that spell was out there. I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, no, there you go, man. Perfect.
sorry, just
That is literally exactly what we need.
Well, yeah, I suppose that will work as well. A spell like that would probably run you, let's see, for one person, be 350 for both.
Oh, I will slam 350 down on the counter right there. You got a deal.
All right.
I will snatch up half of that 350 and say, "Let's do one, and if it doesn't work, we'll do the other."
Look at Varin. I say, I don't know why I'm doing the talking. Clearly, this makes the things you say make a lot more sense.
Well, before the spell is cast, we're gonna cut back to Rita and forgot his name already. Jesus Christ, Barrick.
Delmar.
Barrick.
The body of Delmar.
Delmar is out.
No, Delmar's here.
Well, we had to put you out. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh God. Okay, bye.
I'm sorry, I had to old yell at you.
Am I just chilling at an inn or something, or?
You don't know what's happening. You're unconscious, or well, you
Oh.
know what you are.
Interesting.
All right, so back to Barrick and Rita.
I'm probably enjoying whatever stew I've been given or food.
Oh, they tried to find me, and oh God.
So yeah, they bring you food. You probably have to pay like a gold for it.
That's
Actually, no,
totally fine.
Here 2 gold, because it's a nice establishment for what you're gathering. And yeah, you're dry by now, and like I said, it's nighttime, so it's probably kind of late. But Barrick's there eating, and I don't know if he drinks or not, but yeah.
Water for me.
No, I'll definitely take an ale or something.
It's just like.
Wait, so am I there?
Dilute the senses.
You're asleep in a room somewhere,
Oh,
or
okay.
dead in a room somewhere.
Dead in a room. Okay, Roger.
Powered down.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Power down.
So you said you had some information. Would you rather wait until the rest of the party
it's
members
fine
come?
It'll be fine. I can repeat myself. This is so far what I have. Tormo Valen, as we know, he's an elf. He is his estate, so to speak, is in Plum Castle, which is walled off, but it is open to tours to the public. However, there is a most likely the living space of Tormo Valen, which is, as the locals have called it, Plum House. That also is walled off inside of the castle walls itself. The general consensus of the people of, his people, I should say, they dislike him. They think that he does not have anything of note compared to his ancestor Idiah Valen. The mages that are prominent here think that he is just a mundane magic user comparatively. Managed to scope out the inside of the castle. Most of the guards there are magic users, and a few, from what I could have seen at least, that are mainly just your usual physical guards.
Wow, you were busy.
Yes, if everyone was on time, we could have gleaned a lot more information.
I'm very, very sorry about that.
Apologies won't fix. I just hope that
Okay.
your friends come sooner than
I
later.
also hope that.
And as for your other friend, I was going to attempt to bring him to an artificer's shop in the morning, as I assume they are closed now. Does he usually, die like this? He is
Well,
completely motionless, nothing.
I can certainly take a look, but haven't known this guy for a super long time, so I'm not really sure if this is normal for him. Maybe he's just not waterproof?
Well, managed to dry him off. He's entangled by these vines that I assume are magic, as they are surprisingly healthy, even though they seem to be entwining his metal body.
Well, sure. I mean, I'll take a look and see if I can figure out what the problem is.
Well, by all means, unless you're a magic expert, we'll need someone well versed in magic to further investigate Plum Castle.
Yes. Yeah, hopefully the others will arrive soon.
Counting.
I guess I'll go back and try to take a look at Delmar.
Arcana check.
Oh, that's definitely my strength. Oops, sorry.
Not a bad.
That's actually pretty good.
So you take a look around him, and you probably notice some additional details about him that you didn't know were there before, or maybe just didn't spot. You just notice generally, like, he's pretty banged up and scratched, but you kind of already seen that. It was like surface, but you noticed way more scratches and dings. You notice some vines that kind of loop in and out of him. And you also notice an embossed golden snake on the back of his neck that's eating its own tail. And just looking around him, there's definitely like no light in his eyes, and he's motionless, and you can move his stuff, and or his legs and whatnot. And you figure that he's just, I don't know, inoperative right now. Like, you don't know if like he's dead or unconscious or whatnot.
Okay, well, I guess I'll have to wait for someone else that's more magical to take a look at him.
All right.
Hopefully he's just sleeping. I'm assuming that, like, since we have, like, spent long rests together, that I would know that he doesn't really, like, sleep. Would I recognize if he was sort of, like, powered down, that this is different than that, or would I not really know? He was doing, like, a temporary power down or something.
I think you probably would see that this is something like that, but it's not, like, perhaps he can't control it. Like, maybe he's powered down, but he can't quite come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll wait for somebody more magically inclined, hopefully, to show up soon.
Okay. So what do you guys do? It's already late at night.
I mean, I'd probably, if it seems like the rest of the party is is not going to show up today, I would probably just find a bed to collapse into. I imagine I'm pretty tired.
Okay. The beds here are 2 gold a night, or it's 15 a week.
Are we going to be here a week? Wait. That's more expensive.
Weeks in my world are 10 days.
Oh, whoops.
No.
I was like, wait.
I had to go and make it complicated, didn't you?
I know I'm bad at math, but I don't know how long we're gonna be here yet, so I'll just pay the 2 gold right now.
Okay. Yeah, and you and Barrick rest for the night, unless Barrick, you wanted to do something before the night ends.
Oh no, it's just like I'm jotting it down 8 days late.
Okay.
Yeah, he is
Days
not
late.
happy.
All right. In the morning, you guys reunite in the bottom of the inn, and you guys probably have some breakfast for another 2 gold.
Man, I am losing money fast.
This inn had better be like 5 stars.
Yeah.
This would be a
It is actually
great
pretty
goddamn-
nice. Like, you get your own room. It's like very nice bed mattress thing. Paintings hung everywhere. The downstairs is actually pretty nice. They have a whole separate area for like card play and stuff.
Wait, so excuse me, are you wasting 2 gold a day on me for just being shut down in a room?
No,
I think
you're in Barrick's room.
Thank God you don't.
No, you're
that was
shoved in a
far.
closet. No way I'm paying
Okay,
like
good,
a
You're
penny
in
for
the
you.
corner, just like
Good.
looking
No
at me
way
while I
I
sleep.
would.
Absolutely not.
Good to know, good to know.
Barrick's cover is that he's a scrap metal dealer.
So what do you guys do
I-
in the morning?
I guess I would eat breakfast and then ask Barrick what he has been filling the past 8 days of his time with. Does he just wait here? Has he been going
Information
out?
gathering.
Do you want me to like split those duties with you? I'm not sure.
How good are you at sneaking?
Sneaking?
Yes.
I'm pretty good at sneaking.
Do you think you can infiltrate the walls of Castle Plum and then also the walls of the Plum House to see if you can locate Termo Valley?
I can definitely try.
I-
Do we have a
I need you-
description of this guy?
I need a confirmation, not try. If you are found out, you may be either executed, imprisoned, or... Well, I don't think it can get worse than that. But
Yes, I will
either
do it.
way...
Do or
Okay.
do not. There is no try.
There is no try. I am unsure of his description, besides that he is an elf, roughly the age of 150. So
Got it. A baby elf.
young in elf standards. Still, he may be young in elf standards. However, that is still plenty of time and experience for 150 years.
Right, of course.
Maybe a mundane spellcaster, you can expect some sort of magical defenses, which is why I, yet again, hoped that everyone was here on time so that we may discuss and find out how to get through said magical defenses.
Well, if you'd like me to try my hand at scouting, I'll definitely go take a look around if you want to wait here.
Now, you sure? There is a
Yeah.
great
Is that a
chance
war
that you will
horn
be
that just
found.
went off?
No, that's the train
Oh,
horn
okay.
that went off. Yeah, I live next to the station. There's a great chance that you will be found, and most likely imprisoned. I myself will not be able to bust you out, especially since we are here to deal with Termo Valen before he becomes the end of the world.
Right. I feel very confident knowing that I can count on you.
Okay. If you're prepared for the consequences, do it at nightfall. Just be careful. Remember, most of the guards are magic users. However, I have not seen the physical guards in action, so I expect the worst.
Got it. Well then, I'll spend my time between now and nightfall, I guess, just kind of hanging around the area. I guess I'll just kind of like walk around the purple pony and see if like the rest of the party shows up. Hoping they do.
Sorry, how long you said you wanted to spend in the inn?
Well, I guess because Barrick is recommending not to like go to the castle until nightfall, so I guess I have the whole day to kill before then.
All right, jumping back to the other three. The mage rounds about behind the podium where he was, and he begins to, or asks actually first he asks you for a description of the person you're trying to message or send.
Well, one. Have you ever seen like a lion?
You mean a Shen?
Sure.
She's a Shen woman, and Ivarin will just go ahead and give a rundown of of what Rita looks like.
Are there any distinguishing features? Anything she wears, maybe?
Yes, and I, the player, do not remember what Raida wears, but I assume Ivarin does because he would remember that sort of thing. So
she wears like a red jerkin type cloak thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a picture right here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that still doesn't quite narrow it down. Maybe any scars, anything like that?
Her ear is gone.
I'm sorry.
Was it left or right?
Good question. Should have written that down, which side it was.
It's her right ear.
The right ear. Okay.
Oh, good. That's my non-lucky ear.
It's my unlucky ear, one might say.
Well, I suppose that could narrow it down. All right, let's give this a go. And he begins casting. Oh, what would you like to say?
We get 25 words, y'all. So maybe like, are you okay? If so, me to set the purple pony.
Something like that. Maybe. Maybe. Are you safe? Is the purple pony safe? Should we meet you there? That's probably less than 25, right?
That's less than 25.
And
are you safe? That's what? That's 12 words.
Something like that.
Yeah, and then Pot says at the end, and we miss you.
And get your money's worth. Get the 25 words in there, and we miss you. Can the "and we miss you" be in Pot's, like in Pot's voice?
No, and right at about midday, you hear that, but in a voice that you're not familiar with in your head.
And you get to respond.
In a voice you're not familiar. I like how you guys didn't
But I
mention
understand
it's us,
how
by
like
the way.
magic works, like that this is probably they went to somebody to cast the spell.
Let's do
Like
intelligence. Yeah, let's just do an intelligence check. Why not?
Keeping in mind,
that Rita panics and wastes her response trying to figure out who's talking to her.
keeping in mind there is a and we
no.
miss you at the end.
Oh, that's true. Actually,
You think it's coming from the time stream?
Okay, then I would trust that. I will respond. Oh shit! I have 25 words. I am safe.
I don't think you know that you have 25 words.
Okay, then
So
I
you
would just
talk,
say,
and then you get cut off at 25.
oh, great. Somebody write this down. Hey
is gone.
guys, what's up? I am safe and waiting at the purple pony. Where the hell are you?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, you've got 3 words left.
Oh, 3 words
Are the
left. Okay.
ums like part of
Also,
it?
just so, and then that's
Nice.
All right, so
Ah,
he
fuck.
repeats that to you.
Whew. All right. Well, I look at Varn. It's like, so I guess it worked. So why don't we do it for Delmar then? Find him too.
Oh, we didn't ask about Delmar. We should have asked about Delmar. Sorry, Delmar.
Well, I thought we were
He's
gonna
dead.
cast Delmar separately too. She said I am safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think so.
Yep.
Well, at least we know where one of them is. So let's just head there. We know it's safe. Let's just head there and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm. Another word for that is metagaming.
If-
I would, in character, I would insist on casting it again. I'm willing to pay for it.
Oh no, Delmar's
I don't know. I wouldn't know that Delmar's not okay, so I would cast it.
With
all right,
pot
all right. Go
11
ahead.
intelligence, he takes no responsibility for any of this. He's just standing there.
Okay, 11 intelligence is actually above average. Like, you're not retarded.
Okay, damn.
It's your
Can we-
gold.
Can we lower my no?
I want to be dumb. Okay, so what do you say to Delmar? By the way, that's so a total of 350 after all that.
Okay. 350 total for all of it, or 6 or 700 total.
Or total all of them, both of them.
Same exact message.
No
miss you.
response.
Yeah, with the missing.
No response. So I'd be very panicked over this. Because the wording of sending is that like they have to be able to. So he's either
Well-
not on this plane or he's dead.
Sending works across planes.
Well, I'm not close by.
Oh wow.
He's fucking
It's
dead.
it's just so he's dead. So you could reasonably interpret from this that he is
Dead.
Well,
Gone.
dead.
5% failure
Yeah.
chance across planes, so it doesn't mean he's dead.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there's a chance it failed.
There is
See,
a chance I'm on the plane.
So either he's on another plane or he's like unconscious or dead.
Quite possible. We should at least meet up with our teammate that we know
Yes,
is alive.
agreed.
So let's head
Yeah.
out.
See, like I suppose the point being at that point it's no longer like an emergent thing that has to be taken care of.
Would him
Before we
being a-
leave, can I look around this shop? Like you said, this is a large magical shop, right?
Yes.
How do you do magic stores? Can I just like look for certain things, or do they only have certain things on sale?
Look for what? Sorry.
Well, I have some things I would love to look for specifically.
You can
But-
ask the person you've been talking to, or you can look around.
I move to lean on the counter, but then I don't, and I kind of I kind of turned into kind of like a little like chin scratch, and I say, "My good shopkeep, I thank you by the way for your assistance. I'm actually looking for several items that you guys may or may not carry, and I'm just wondering if you have them in stock."
Mm-hmm.
I don't suppose this fine establishment carries stones of good luck.
Let me see here. Roll a d100 for me, please.
Mm. 37.
No, unfortunately we don't. I actually had one, but we sold the last one.
Unfortunate. Well, then I don't know if you've noticed. My threads are a little threadbare, and I was looking to upgrade them. I don't suppose you guys sell cloaks or bracers of defense or protection.
Roll another D100 for me.
Is that for both of them? 48.
We actually do have a cloak of protection.
Oh, fantastic. How much do those end up costing?
For one of those, 3.5
3.5.
K platinum.
Yeah. Oh, plot. Oh. Okay. Well, thank you. And I will turn around and hide my shame. You know, it occurs to me that my threads are actually okay. I'll have to come back later when they're more threadbare.
Okay.
Toodaloo.
And,
Goodbye.
and,
Holy
and
shit.
Putt asks, "You go, Spiff."
I was just gonna say I want to look around and see if there's like maybe, like a CD rack with spells that I can flip through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely like one of those cabinets with like square holes, and there's scrolls in them.
Squirrel.
So yeah, I don't know. Let me just go ahead and do your thing, Pot, and I'll take a look at the spell list and see if there's anything that I want to look for right now.
Pot asks if there's any weapons or armor in here.
Well, we don't really have armor at this point, but we do have some magic weapons.
What kind of magic weapons do you possess?
Well, right now we have a few swords, a bow, and a hammer.
Okay. What are these? Could I see these swords and the hammer, good sir?
Ah, yes, the hammer, and he presents to you, and he says, "This is a hammer of thunderbolts."
Oh, okay. I don't do that in character, by the way. That's just me personally enjoying that one.
And these
is that-
these two are magical swords, and he presents, and they look like very finely crafted weapons. And finally, we have a sword of life stealing.
Cheap stuff.
Okay, yeah, true. No, how much are these, by chance?
Well,
What's the price
sword,
range
and
here?
he says he points to one of the finely crafted ones and to the life stealing one. These are 1,000 each. This sword is. Where is this? This sword is 4,000, and the hammer is 16,000.
Oh,
Wait, the sword of life stealing is only 4,000?
1,000.
1,000?
Mhm.
Holy crap! How? So, are you allowed to tell us how does pricing work in this world?
It's based on the rarity and
Okay,
yeah, and the ability.
because that's much cheaper than like things I was looking at. That's fantastic. We should get that then. There must be a sale.
It's a busted one, that's why it's.
I know. I was gonna say that would be very suspicious because the things I were asking for were all uncommon. This is rare. I would be very suspicious of this sword.
Sort of life giving. It's like you give.
Yeah,
your
I wonder
to
if this store sells bullshit stuff.
Damn, that's really good.
It is really good.
Pot thanks him for the information, but alas, a little bit out of my price range.
Oh, we have what's our? I have 400 gold I can put towards it.
Sure, if you would be willing.
Yeah.
For
I think improving our party survivability is probably going to be very important in the close period of this.
How long is this sword? Like, is it a long sword, a great sword, a short sword? Like, what are we?
This one will be, let's say, a longsword.
Yeah, I think like if my thing is much more expensive than this, like I think this still improves our party survivability for a much lower price. So I think it makes sense for us to invest in this for you.
Okay, sure. Yeah, if you've got two.
So I've got 440 gold to put towards it. To put towards it.
Is that like your total gold? Oh well,
Yeah.
you don't have to tell me that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 250, and then I'll have a little bit left over.
Okay. So I'll
yeah.
give you 250 then.
Okay. Yep. So then I give him. Then I'm like, well, friend, actually, I've just magically found some gold here. That mighty longsword that you've got there for 1,000. Could you tell me again what kind of specialty this sword is again?
Oh, the other one you mean?
The one for 1,000 gold.
The one that's not life stealing?
Oh, okay. So there's two. So both of the life stealing and the other one are both 1,000.
Yeah.
And what's 4,000? Sorry, then.
So basically, the 1,000 is a +1 sword. There's nothing else to it.
Yeah.
The sword of life stealing I posted in the chat. Then there's a +2 sword for 4,000, and the hammer for 16,000.
16. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I thought the the life stealing was 1,000. The other one was 4. Cool. Well, yeah. I guess I don't know if Pot would actually know to be suspicious of this, like the price or something like that, but I would presume that everything seems in order.
I am super suspicious of this price based on what they just quoted me for a different thing. So I would, Ivarin, you can cast Identify, right?
Yes, I can.
Can we? Would you? I'm sorry. This does seem like a fantastic deal. Would you mind terribly if we just like inspected the wares before we kind of made the final purchase? Would that be acceptable?
He kind of changes his demeanor a bit, and he says, I would mind, but if you must, then I suppose you can.
Pot holds out his hand
And
to
he looks
take
clearly
the sword.
offended.
He's gonna shit talk you guys to the other store owners, then.
It's like he can be as offended as he wants, but I don't want him to sell us a goddamn cursed sword.
Mm.
He
So
has
yeah,
it
but I
too.
guess Pot.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Pot does his standard looking at the sword physically, all that kind of stuff, and then turns around and faces the other two.
You can do an investigate check, and I guess Ivarin can cast his spell.
It's a ritual spell, and I don't have it prepared, so it's going to take 10 minutes.
Okay, so
Pot-
you used to.
Pot-
That's not awkward.
Yeah, Pot's like playing around with the
Oh,
sword for 10
God.
minutes, like he's buying time. He's just no.
Yeah, as Ivarin's looking over it, and it's been a few minutes, the shopkeeper taking your sweet old time, are we?
It feels really nice in the hand.
Yeah, that's all you get from it. Very well put.
It feels nice
Pot.
in the hand.
And then Ivarin, you cast Identify, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're basically able to glean the summary I sent to you, so confirm it, and you don't note anything wrong with it.
So these
Ivarin
guys are
hands
just
it back and
selling
says it is as he
badass swords
says.
for super cheap. We should absolutely come back to this place.
Very
I
well.
mean,
So out of
well, now
out
the
of character.
shopkeeper's all pissed off at you, though.
Our money still spends though.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like, I could upcharge you for it.
See?
No, I think it's an absolutely fair price. What you've got for this fine piece of equipment. Yeah. And Pot hands the 1,000 gold over in exchange for the sword.
Very well. Anything else? Or would you like to inspect every single piece of equipment I have in my shop too?
Pot
If you want
turns-
fur,
I think
Ivarin.
that comment does not merit a response. Just do not engage. The salesperson sold us the thing that he was trying to sell us. the transaction is complete.
Didn't
If
Ivarin wanted?
Ivarin kind of rolls his eyes and tries to make eye contact with the shopkeeper in just sort of a "can you believe this shit" sort of moment. like, yeah, I understand. When we leave, I have to go with them. So you've got the better end of the deal here, okay? But yeah, Ivarin turns back to the CD rack of spells. There's a few that I'm thinking of. Level 1, Guiding Bolt. Level 2, Fine Steed. Level 2, Flame Blade. Level 2, Gentle Repose.
Okay.
Can I find any of those?
There's 4 total. Roll 4 D100s, and let's go in order. What is the rarity on the first one? Or actually, what is the first one called? Oh, it's a level 1 spell, you said.
It's level 1, Guiding Bolt.
Level 1 Guiding Bolt. They do have that one for 60 gold.
Okay. Level 2, Fine Steed. Let me do another roll here.
They do have that one for 120.
Okay, level 2, Flame Blade.
They do have that one also for 120.
And level 2, Gentle Repose.
They don't have that one.
Oh, that's such a good one.
Bullshit.
Okay, so that's 300 gold for the lot.
Yes. For 3 spell scrolls.
You know what? I'm not even going to try to haggle the shopkeeper. He's put up with us. He's put up with us enough. So I'll just go ahead and pay the 300.
Okay.
Now I assume these are just scrolls, right? So
Yeah, regular scrolls.
yeah, okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to take some time later to transcribe those to my spell book.
Anything else?
I'm all set.
All right.
Pot's all good.
I think I was looking if there's other stuff that I could also get, but I think I've got the things I need. Corporate languages.
All right. Well, you guys, I guess, start heading over to the Purple Pony. And Ryda, they sent you the message, and it's been an hour, and they still haven't showed.
Well, they didn't say where they were. So I would probably just continue to pace out front of the inn. If they don't show up by this evening, I will probably be worried.
Okay. Yeah, they show up in 30 minutes. And as you guys approach, you see her pacing.
Oh, thank God you guys are here. Barrick is really pissed. We are very late.
How late? We've had no indication of the time or the date.
8 days later.
Shit. Well, I mean, considering that we left a month ahead, I feel like that's. Well, no, that's like
25%
nearly
error.
25% variance. Yeah, that's terrible. That SD is awful.
Also, where the hell were you guys?
Well, I was in a tree for a little while, and then after that we were shopping.
Oh, I can see. Lots of urgency.
Well, I mean, we were first checking on you. Did you like our message?
Yeah, nice touch at the end. Did you guys get my message? I'm assuming you did since you showed up.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Delmar. I was wondering if one of you guys could take a look at him.
Sure. and then I'm gonna tap Pot on the shoulder too and be like, hey, like the head whip, come along with me, sort of thing, since he's
Yeah.
the closest thing we've got to a healer.
Yeah, Pot follows.
Yeah, I'll take you guys inside to where Barrick is. I'm assuming sitting, brooding in the corner.
Yep.
Good
As
brooder,
soon
that
as,
one.
yeah, as soon as they come in, 8 days. 8 days late.
Well, I'll tell you what. Come into the future with us, and you can talk to the person who's responsible for that.
I don't want excuses. I understand it is an unstable power. Just make sure down the line you learn how to control it.
Pot holds up 2 thumbs up and says, "But it wasn't 9 days late."
Yes. Let's be glad that it was only a week and a day, or well, almost a week. Forgot weeks were 10 days.
Where did you learn to count?
Anyway.
In the woods.
In the woods. Anyway, I assume that you've been updated on your metallic friend. I would suggest some of you go and see if you can fix him. Otherwise, we can go to a artificer shop.
I'll go ahead and make the Arcana check.
So I'm gonna say you don't quite know. You basically confirm what Rida was able to surmise.
Remind me, is Delmar all in one piece?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less.
I'm gonna turn to Pot and say, "You're up."
Well, funny you say that. In order to sort of help our friend here, I actually need to have a bit of a snooze. Yeah.
Looks completely dead to me.
I'm not sure if I'm quite ready to give him the magic slap.
I can take him to the. I can't take him to the artificer shop if you're not ready.
A paladin who can only lay on hands by slapping people across the face.
You're like a faith healer, like be healed. You like whack him full on the forehead.
That was literally what I
that's
had
an
planned
excellent-
possibly for later on by using oh god, what is it? It's the it's that ability that I've got, Divine Smite with a slap, but also combine it with a lay on hands
Yes.
just to roll the dice, see if they live or get slapped into
You
oblivion.
gain
Oh,
5
wow,
HP.
you
You take
You
1 unarmed
lose.
damage.
Yeah.
Talk about getting slapped by the long hand of fate.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
So, sorry, run me through the plan again. What we've got with Delmar. What's our current plan with Delmar, aside from me? This is out of character. Sorry, with outside of me doing lay on hands, which is what I think most people are.
I think if we can't diagnose what the issue is, we'll probably have to take him to an expert.
Yeah, and at this point we've kind of established that he is completely lifeless. There's absolutely no signs of life. It's not like he's unconscious or anything like that. It's just he's.
I think so.
Can I check for that, Nite? Or has anyone checked for that? Sorry.
You could do another investigation check.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically get the same.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing new.
And just out of character again, that Arcana check, is that what that was about before? I think I
Yeah.
missed that when I was adding the stuff, yeah. Okay, and then our current plan is to take him to an artificer? Is that the...
That's the only other well, assumedly an artificer would know how to handle this. This is the first time I've seen, well, the second time technically, but you get what I mean. I am unknown on what kind of being this is in the first place.
Yeah. And how long is a long rest?
8 hours.
8 hours?
8 hours. And what time is it now, roughly?
Around 1 in the afternoon.
Okay. Well, I guess we've got a few options. We could either wait for me to rejuvenate my holy power, or take this unfortunate young robot to an artificer. What does everyone think?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, again, like I have no how to fix this.
Same. I'm not a magic user, so I'm gonna defer to your guys' judgment because I have no idea.
Well, our resources are limited, so we should probably at least give it a try.
Yeah.
With our own power before we go spending money on him. Sorry, Delmar.
And
I have no healing ability.
Yeah.
So it's really just gonna be pot, I think.
Yeah. And how long has he been out for that we know of? Like since
8 days.
8 days. Okay, so it's like if he's gone kind of thing. Cool.
He was out before a fisherman found him in the water and fished him out.
By the way, Nite, about that new character I sent you.
Anyway, hop on back.
Yeah, so I guess Pot will do a long rest to get the lay of hands back because he's currently at 0 after the whole time warp thing at the end of last episode. I don't know what's really involved. I think you can just like sit around and chill, right? You don't have to be technically asleep for it.
No, you do have to be asleep for at least some portion of it, and you kind of have to be laying in bed and whatnot. So yeah, you guys are pretty tired, so you don't really have too much issues going to sleep.
I mean, I don't know if the others want to do something else while I'm resting or something. I don't know if they want to
use some of this long rest time to sort of discuss our next moves concerning like Termo Valen?
Yes.
Yeah, I assume that. Well, Ivarin asks right at a hey, catch me up. What's going on?
Yeah.
So I assume. I mean, I don't really need to go over the whole thing again. If anyone else needs a refresher, we could go ahead.
Yeah, I can refresh.
Yeah, just relay the same info.
I will also emphasize Ivarin and look at look at the goblin. It's like, do you know how magic works?
I'll cast Prestidigitation and just be like, I know a few tricks.
Very well. I will need you specifically to investigate. The Plum Castle is open to tours to the public. I will need you to join this tour, look around, see if you can find out what kind, or if any, magical defenses are on the walls themselves. I'm not well versed in it, so I have no idea, but this is a predominantly magical and scholarly area, it is a safe assumption that there are some countermeasures to thieves and other would-be ne'er-do-wells going inside of the castle without permission.
Sounds like a plan.
Yes. Vrida here has expressed that she can indeed sneak in. I would advise backup if possible, to see if you can keep her cloaked, so to speak. do any of you have any kind of magic that muffles sound or something similar to invisibility?
About that.
Says the perky guy. If only.
I mean, I can make people deaf, but it's not like not quite the same. They'll notice.
Yes, so let's try and stick to something they won't notice.
Yeah, I'm really more of a burn them with acid and fire kind of mage.
Yes.
Well, as long as you can distinguish any arcane runes or other defenses, good enough.
Now that I can do.
I can roll to that. Well, you should have said so earlier.
Very well. Well,
The eating is in character, right?
yeah, he's like stomping his face.
Yep. Yeah.
GM, quick reminder, how often do the tours actually happen?
Sorry, I stepped away. 2 or 3 per day.
2 or 3 per day? Perfect. I assume they're mostly like morning to like, midday, not at night.
Absolutely during daytime.
Yeah. Rest, prepare. If Varin goes in first, scopes it out, tells us any information he can glean. At night, Ride Up prepares. Whoever else is good at sneaking should join her, just in case for backup. And hopefully we can find Termovelen and deal with him before the problem arises. And also
Okay.
fix your friend, if we can.
I'm going to spend an hour recasting Find Familiar to change my familiar into his spider form. So Sticky Jackson will go with you, Rita.
Sticky
I'm
Jacks.
sorry.
Oh.
Sticky Jackson.
Yeah.
I wonder what your name for your snake pet is.
Slinky Jackson. Yeah.
Scaly Jackson?
Slinky.
Slinky.
I was gonna say Slithering Jackson. I don't know.
Wonderful. So it'll just be me and the familiar then.
Unless
We'll-
someone
we'll
else.
go in after
Unless we
you,
can
Brian.
fix Delmar and he decides to Autobots roll out, join you.
Yeah. Is he stealthy?
I mean, I know he transformed into
Oh,
a
that's
different
true.
thing, so
Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see if we can get him revived.
we'll see. Hopefully Pot can heal him, if not, Artificer got some cash that you will owe me, but nonetheless, if we can stop Termovalen here before something bad happens, consider the payment null.
So where are you going, Rita?
Well, I was gonna wait until Everin did his initial kind of reconnaissance checking out of the
Yes,
castle, and then depending on what
Right.
his info is, I thought we were gonna like regroup, and then I was
Yeah.
gonna go
But-
in.
So it's
But I
like
can't do
past
that until
midnight
morning
now.
anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So we'll wait for tomorrow
So
morning.
for the day, though, I think we're all just hanging around here,
Okay.
around the inn.
So you're waiting for Pot to get up.
Jake, I don't know what you're eating, but
That's some
Is it that
gooey
loud? I'm
stuff,
sorry.
damn.
it's very.
It's
Oh my
gooey
God.
as hell.
He's eating udon noodles.
It was
Oh,
literally
God.
just soda.
Oh.
Oh, it was
What
the
the hell?
fizzing. It sounded like some
It sounded
kind
like
of-
you were like mushing.
Yeah,
like,
it sounded like you were eating something really squishy.
I'm visiting my folks, so I have a headset on, not the normal like desktop mic, and so I guess it's just closer to my. I'll mute myself when I'm eating now. Sorry, guys.
Oh, good.
No, it's okay.
You know you're a loud chewer when people can hear you eat soda.
Yeah,
Exactly. Crunching on the
I'm
soda.
super self-conscious about it. Excellent.
All right. Well, Pot, you get up after your 8-hour rest just as night falls, and
Yeah.
you have your spells.
Okay. Well, I am going to. I am going to flick Delmar's forehead. Doink. And do 5 health with a lay on hands.
Okay.
Delmar
see
will
what
remember
response.
that.
Nothing happens.
All right. Well, I
God damn it.
Pot like scratches his chin a little bit, and then his brow,
Oh.
scratches his chin and his brow, and then
Whoa.
flicks Delmar again for another 5 health.
But with 2 fingers.
Yeah, let's go with that. 2
I
finger,
poke
the
his
double
eyes.
finger flick.
Nothing happens.
Shit, he's dead.
Well, I guess Pot not enough that it would cause any damage whatsoever. But slaps Delmar on the forehead. Not for a 1 damage, but slightly lighter than that. On the forehead for another 5.
Nothing happens.
Well, friends, I think he's gone.
God damn it, people, just let me rest in peace!
He had a good run. Oh well.
Yes, unfortunately, that is I think the most that I can do at the moment in terms of my innate abilities. Shall we go to Plan B and seek out someone in the city who may be able to help us with this issue?
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Again, like I think
Sure.
clearly
Yeah.
this place has enough. This place has enough individuals who can do this for us. It shouldn't be that hard.
Mm.
All right. So who are
Sorry.
you guys looking for?
I guess like an arcanist, like an artificer type. I don't really understand how Delmar like exists. So
Right.
but he seems like a mechanism. So we should find someone who's like mechanistically inclined.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
probably an
I
artificer.
mean, we could probably ask around. Like,
Yeah, an artificer
Yeah,
would
right.
make sense because magic and technology.
Okay. Yeah, you ask around, and very quickly you're able to find an artificer. Well, actually, you would probably be looking for like a top end artificer. So you get like referred to an artificer. He doesn't really know what's wrong, so he refers you to another one. The other one doesn't know, and eventually you find yourself in like the middle of the city, where it's like the high people and the final artificer, and kind of your last step. And he takes a look over Delmar, and this guy is actually a dwarf, so he takes a look over Delmar and says, well, I haven't seen one quite like this before, but there is one thing we could try.
please God, I hope there's like an on-off switch or
Power
some shit that
button,
we like,
yeah.
didn't notice. Yeah,
Have you
fucking
tried to
shit.
reset your router?
Have you tried turning it on and off again, sir?
I don't know where the on and off button is on this one.
And he kind of flips over Delmar, and he
Oh, it's right there.
twists the golden serpent on the back, and it kind of rotates, and a hole opens in the back, and out of the hole rises kind of like a spherical object, and it looks almost like just like a glass sphere but dark. And he says, "Yep, well, his power core is depleted."
Uh-oh.
How do we fix that?
Well, the good news is that we can create a new one, but without a significantly more powerful source, usually in this case it's the person that created him, it won't be long lasting.
That's not good.
So an inevitable. How much of how much time would he have?
Hard to tell. I mean, this particular specimen seems to be very old, so maybe no longer than a 10-day.
Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, it's your call. He's your ally, so
Can
he could be.
I mean, we got to get him up. Like he's part of this. He's part of this team.
Yeah. How much
So
is
we
the
could
core
be-
gonna cost?
What do you want to bet? It's super cheap.
$12.50.
Oh Christ!
Gold?
Yes.
50.
Oh my god.
Do we have that?
I mean, I think. How much gold did we each get? Like 800?
I've got 200 left.
Yeah,
I've got 190 left, rather.
I have
I have
724.
500, that is.
I think we have enough for like one.
Yeah,
And is that all we need? Just one core to replace?
I think.
Well,
I
but
think.
it'll
I
prep
think.
out in like a week.
Yeah, I think. Oh fuck.
What about on Delmar's body? Can we rummage for his gold?
I guess you could, yeah.
But
I mean, I guess, yeah, that
Do you
makes
have any
sense.
gold on you?
I do quite a lot.
How much gold do we find?
You find 810 gold.
Ooh.
There, that's like 2/3 of the price.
Yeah.
You also
I
find
think
a
Delmar
jar with
pays-
a brain in it.
You what?
Oh,
yeah, he's got the
brainy,
brainy.
Smiley the
Yeah,
brain.
Smiley.
And
Yeah.
you find an ear.
So
Poor Smiley.
once we get him up, we're gonna have to ask him what he's been doing this whole time.
Mm.
Well, I
Questions of
think
existence.
the old core was like more powerful, right? Is what it
We
sounds
don't-
like.
we haven't
Well-
even known him for 10 days. We
Yeah,
have
so
no
we
idea.
haven't known him long enough to know like what his actual.
Well, no.
Oh.
Only the creator can create a core that can sustain
Sustainer. Yeah.
one for
Mhm.
one of his kind for long periods of time.
So who would be his creator? You're.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a question towards you. You're his allies. Do you not know who created it?
Nope, no idea.
Oh.
We don't even know if he knows who created him.
Ah.
Would the artificer know, who could do something? Because he said he
Is there
hasn't
like a
seen one of
signature
these.
anywhere? Yeah.
The secretive comes back to bite me in the ass.
Ouroboros, yeah.
No,
Actually, yeah, I'll
unfortunately,
ask
I do not
him.
know who created him.
Do you know the symbol on the back of his snake?
Well, yes. The symbol represents a passage of time that resembles a loop.
Oh, time stuff. Well, I'll just look at the others and just say I guess you're the best bet he's got at finding his creator with a longer lasting core. So for now, I guess a temporary one is all that can work.
Yeah. Well, if we take his gold and then we each shell out like 100, that should cover it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm willing to put in for this.
Yeah.
I think we need to get him
Yeah.
up and move to the next phase of this because
And then we'll have 10 days to figure out.
right because
what
we can't leave him down for 10 days.
Yeah.
Like we're gonna
And he
need the
might know.
manpower.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Hopefully he has better insight into this insanity than we do. Because I swear to God, if we get him up and he's just kind of like, "Yep, I've been replacing it every 10 days," I'm gonna kill him myself.
Yeah, 12, 15 days per week. Oh god.
So I'm willing to put. See, was it what was our total aggregate we're putting in?
I think he said it
Everyone's
was
chipping in 100?
1250.
1250 for a new core.
So we'll put in what 100 each, and then he'll front the rest of it. We'll pull the rest
Yeah.
out of Delmar.
Does he have 850?
810.
8.
Okay, I'll give the extra 40. I'll give 140.
So I'll deduct 100 from mine.
I only have 95 gold left.
Okay, I'll deduct 105 from mine, so you'll be good. I'll cover you.
I'm not sure how comfortable I feel having 0 money.
I think I don't know. We can always. I'll just turn.
I'll pay
I'll
for your
turn.
meals for now
Yeah.
on.
I'll turn about. I'll say like money comes and goes, Pot.
Mm.
The whole point of having money is to spend it, buddy.
Money ain't worth a thing if you don't spend it.
Who said
You're
that? Oh my God, he's already alive.
You already got fixed.
It's incredible. It's a miracle.
All right, so I guess Pot is still deciding.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Pot would hand over and be left with no money. I'm not sure if he would agree to be left with 0.
I will put in 190 gold. You just need to front 10.
Then Pot accepts.
Wow.
Silky just like completely casual, just slings his entire remaining gold onto the table and just like let's
It's
do
good
this
to
thing.
know that I'm loved. Yeah.
I don't know if loved is the right way to
Yeah.
phrase this, buddy. We need I was gonna say we need a warm body. We need a body.
We don't care about you. We
And
need a body.
believe me, you will reconstitute the losses we've incurred for this asshattery.
If I
So
live
the
long
artificer
enough.
takes it and he says, "This will take a couple of days."
Oh shit. This sucks.
This is the worst. This time travel thing is bullshit. All right. Okay.
Well, I guess we're counting him out for our mission tonight then.
Yes.
So if it's going to take a few days, does then that put our friend at risk? If you said, what was it, 10 days or something he can be out for?
No, I have to repair this core. You see here, and he turns it over. It's cracked on this side.
Mm.
So it'll be like 10 days functioning once it's repaired.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a warranty on your work?
Mm.
He chuckles.
It sounds like a no.
Oh, no.
Man, this is just not a buyer's market. Like, all right. Well, okay. Well, let's get this started at least.
Ivarin takes a look outside at the position of the sun and says, "Well, I need to get to my tour. So you guys finish up here."
Got it.
Yeah.
We'll
All right.
reconvene after.
All right, Ivarn, you head off to the castle, and there is a line for the tour, and the admission price is 5 gold.
5 gold.
Jesus.
Ugh, tourist
the city
trap.
sucks.
God. All
We
right.
should, our first clue should have been how much gold he gave us at the outset. We should have known that was chump change. This is our
Yeah.
own fault for not. We thought we were rich.
You thought.
Nope.
That was pocket change.
So they lead you into the castle itself, and they show you around. They show you basically they call it the council house where the council meets. And off in the distance they show you the plum house, which is also walled off. And they say that is where Termovalin, that's the residence of Termovalin. And they also, the final stop on your way is the plum fields, which they have just a big section of the castle, just non-stop plum trees.
All right, and what should I do for my magical investigation? Arcana check?
Yeah, Arcana perception. Average of those.
Oh,
Ooh,
yes.
Nice. So you crit. Yeah, so at first you don't notice anything. Well, how that works is you just average the modifiers for those. So you just roll one, and then you would average.
So it
Oh,
would
okay.
be a 5 plus 3, 8, a 4.
It doesn't matter because he crit
1
anyway.
plus 4. Yeah.
So yeah, at first you don't notice anything because they seem to like take off the spells off the gate when you enter, but you definitely notice alarm spells on the outer walls of both the castle and the plum house, and you also notice some spells around the plum fields, mostly like sigil spells to protect the area. And that's probably about all you notice. The rest of the area is kind of patrolled by a mix of mage guards and weapon wielding guards, but mostly mages.
All right, I make mental note of all of that so that I can relay it to the gang when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, can you cast detect magic on somebody else? You can't, right? It's self.
No, it's like...
Because if Rita's going in there, it would be fantastic if she can also scout
Right.
for us. Self. Okay.
Maybe
Would it
one
be
of the
beneficial
shops
to
has
have-
some magic spectacles.
We can't spend any more money. Oh my god.
But
I wonder if it would be beneficial to have one of the mages go in with her, just to, because we're going in under the auspices of scouting. Like they have no
That
reason.
would
why-
definitely be helpful to me. The only risk is like if you guys are really not stealthy.
I am not stealthy. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm okay-ish stealthy. I'm not the best.
I think you're probably the second best.
Yeah,
Like,
because I'm so
besides
small.
Delmar, like, transforming.
Do you want me to go with Rita then, and we'll scout?
Sure.
It's your choice. Remember, you're the ones that are at risk, so...
Okay. Well, then I guess if that's going to be the case, then I will spend time now reshaping Sticky Johnson back into Blinky Johnson.
Blinky Johnson. What's Blinky Johnson?
Yes,
A
like with
bird?
the idea that if we get caught somehow, Blinky will fly and warn the rest of the group.
Oh, so it is a bird. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what's the plan?
I think Rita and I will enter under the auspices of being on a tour and case the purple or the plum castle.
Or I thought we were gonna be like sneaking in.
Oh.
Yeah, at night.
I misunderstood.
Yeah.
Well, then I
Yeah,
I'm still,
casing.
Okay, I'm still happy to do that. I'm just not. I'm not. My stealth is only 3, so I'm not like great at it.
Yeah, it's your choice. Remember, it's your choice.
Yeah, I would be very nervous if your stealth is not great because I definitely don't want to get found out. Or if like one of us is gonna get found out, it would be better to be like only one person than 2.
Okay, then maybe I'll just I'll say Blinky goes with you,
Yeah.
and we'll all wait outside.
So remember, overall goal is just confirmation Termovelin is there, and then after that we can like party, like team party, go in,
Yeah.
kill his ass, and stop the apocalypse.
And you know what? Why not? I'll go ahead and send Miyag as well as a cat. You can use him as a foot scout
Sure. Yeah.
for corridors and such.
Okay,
And I'll tell him to obey their commands and meow if he sees something.
So
Cool.
you're waiting till nighttime, or
Yeah, I was gonna wait till it's dark.
okay? And it's you and Silky.
Just me and the familiars, I think.
And
Okay.
the birds, yeah. I think the familiars are going in as messengers.
So what exactly are you doing? When you get to the main gate is shut, and you see some patrols on the walls.
Okay. And I'm assuming Everin informed me of like the alarm spells that were around.
I guess so. Yeah.
Were those like only triggered through the front gate?
No, they were all over the walls.
Okay, well. Maybe we should just have the familiars go in. Because I think no matter what I do, I'm probably going to trip something. But maybe we could just send in the familiars to kind of fly in and then see if they can locate him. I mean, we know the general area he should be in, right? The sub area of the castle. How big is that house? And
It's
is there a way
well
to
known,
access it from like the outside doors? Is it sort of attached to the castle, or is it
No,
inside of the
it's
castle?
No, it's
walled
its
off
own
within
thing.
the wall of the castle.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so we have to go
double wall.
through the castle. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I can try to go in, but it seems like if there's alarm spells, like I'm probably gonna trip something.
As I
So she
mentioned,
comes
your
back.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah. She comes back. It's like,
I mean, I
So-
imagine we probably. I mean, what do you guys think? We could also try going on a tour and then like sending the familiars in from the tour to get us like partway in.
but in the
I'm not
tour,
paying 5 gold for my cat to go on a tour.
yeah, but in the tour, like there's guards that are escorting you. So
Right, but I mean, if like if the familiar was, you know, a small bug or something that the guards like probably wouldn't notice, we could get in through a tour with the familiar without setting off the alarm up front, and then once we're inside we can send the familiar off deeper into the castle.
You could maybe use a familiar as a distraction, like set off 2 of the alarms at once, and then when they show up for one of them, it's just like, oh, it's just a cat.
That's true.
And then meanwhile, you're hiding somewhere, and then when they go away, you're like, okay, cool, I'm in. Something like that.
Do you have a way to extricate yourself from inside the castle? By the way, like, what's her escape plan?
I don't know. This is like not really a plan. That's what I'm trying to.
She has no plan. Oh,
Well, I didn't realize
Yeah,
there
like-
was going to be alarm spells. I was figuring with stealth I could kind of just like sneak my way through, but if there's like magic that's going to catch me, I don't have a way to combat that.
I'm just nervous by the amount of guards and like spells that have been described in this place. Make it sound
Right.
like it'll be very difficult to like if you sneak through, no problem, great. But it strikes me that like if at any point your stealth fails, it sounds like the entire castle is going to be like coming for you.
Exactly. And I'm non-magical, so I don't have a way to like detect that or combat it or anything.
I don't know. You want to just fucking try it and see what happens?
Sure. I mean, I can try it. I really don't want to go to jail,
I really like how it's like you want to try it. Like, yeah, like maybe they'll catch me and like they'll put a bounty on me, kill me, or whatever. But it's fine.
Let's try. I'll try the idea that Everin suggested, which is that I'll have one of the familiars
The
trip
double
the alarm. Yeah, and see if I can use that to sneak through.
God.
Okay, so you
Wait.
send the cat on the wall.
Yeah, I'm gonna send the cat like on one side of the wall, and have it trip the alarm.
Okay. Yeah, as soon as the alarm is tripped, the guards on the walls kind of run over towards that section.
Okay, I will use that opportunity to try to like jump up. I mean, how tall are these walls also?
The wall is maybe
Like, could I scale it?
the wall is maybe like 12 to 15 feet high, and it is stone.
Like craggly stone with lots of footholes, or super smooth stone?
Like perfectly climbable wall. No, it's definitely more like the city, and more smooth.
Parkour.
Yeah, can I try still, I guess?
Also, go ahead and make an Arcana roll. Based on how the alarm went off, you think there are multiple alarm spells throughout the length of the wall. So
Well, shit.
that section of the wall, the alarm went off, but
Jesus.
you think the other sections still have it as well.
Yeah, guys, I don't think this is a good idea. I mean, if everybody wants me to, I'll try, but I think I'm just gonna get caught.
Listen, the worst case.
Should
the
we,
worst
should
case
we,
scenario.
should we just, I know we wanted to try at night. Should we just go in during a tour during the day? It'll be expensive.
That's what I
But I don't
was
know.
thinking.
And the
I mean,
more we're talking about this, I agree. Like, it just sounds like there's, the price for failure sounds like she'll just be stuck by herself.
yeah, I really don't
For
think
sure.
I don't
Like
think I'm
it-
gonna be able to get in or out without being noticed. And like we don't all have to go on the tour. We could just send like one of the wizards, and they can use their familiar, maybe. I don't know, but I don't think I don't think I'm gonna be able to even get up this wall. It seems like without being noticed.
Like,
Let
worst
alone
case
actually get
scenario?
through.
Worst case scenario, you confirm that he's like a demon, like worshiper, summoner, and he like uses you as a sacrifice. So
Yeah, and how am I supposed to convey that information to you guys?
I mean, something will probably happen. Something.
Well, since you're out there, why don't you keep poking at the walls with the familiars and see if you can get a better idea of what the security response is like?
I'll have them kind of trigger it at different areas and see if I can tell like how it's sectioned up, or exactly how many guards are out here, like a more precise number.
Okay. Do like an investigation check, I guess.
Not great.
You can have advantage on this, actually.
Perfect.
So yeah, you're able to figure out that there's at night there's maybe a dozen guards on the wall. When one section of the wall is triggered, a portion of the guards on the walls go over to that section and kind of investigate closer, which leaves like other sections a little less attended, but they're still watched in places. So it's not like all of them respawn.
Right.
Apart from that, you don't notice any other spells or anything else.
Okay. Well,
I can imagine the whole night the guards are just like, the fucking trap keeps going off! What the hell?
It's that fucking cat again. God damn it.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
gonna be a
well,
tough
I
cookie to
think-
crack.
yeah, I think a better idea might be to get in with one of the tours so that we're not tripping an alarm, and then either trying to like break off from the tour ourselves or send one of the familiars deeper into the castle.
Ooh, break off ourselves.
I mean, I don't know
Mm.
if that's a great idea, but I feel like
Like
those are
if-
the only kind of two options.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of options either. It's either like at some point we need to assault, or I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, I mean, I
Hmm.
think this time sending a familiar in, like going in with a tour and then letting a familiar branch off, just for the reconnaissance portion just for checking and making sure that he is in the location that we think he is might be the best option, because I think if familiar gets caught, that's not really a big deal. And then we can go from there once we have his location confirmed.
Yep. That's fair.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I still think it makes the most sense to just go in during the day and just because like
Yeah.
we'll see the layout, we'll see the number of guards, we can see where the plum house is.
I mean, I know Everin already went on the tour,
Mm.
so I don't think us personally going on the tour will be able to get any new information, but just using that as a way to get through the front gate.
Yeah.
Get the familiar through the front gate without triggering the alarm. And then sending our familiar in deeper stealthily to try to like find an exact location. I think that's probably going to be the, I don't know, smoothest way.
Yeah. No, I think it makes sense. So let's go for it. I think this plan is better than.
I think
it's probably the best it's gonna get.
Yeah, I think it should be silky though, because Everin already went on a tour and it might be kind of weird.
I was gonna say that too. Like, we don't want to raise suspicions. Like, weren't you just here yesterday?
Yeah, so I feel like we should
like
send
tours.
silky.
I love this castle.
Yeah, I really like the tour.
I just really like tours.
I really like the complimentary plums I got at the end too.
I'm a tour guide in training.
I'm just learning from the best.
All right. Well,
Okay.
before we get to that, it sounds like you guys are gonna rest for the night. We are going to take a 15-minute or 5-minute break, intermission, before we pick off and see what the party does. So we'll be right back, everybody.
Cool.
I'm gonna get some drinks.